All right, time to get this show started. There we are. Sharing the wrong screen. There's my OBS with an infinity window. 1 second here. Put on my BRB so I don't have to look at that. I have a KVM switch and it has not been working. So I manually plugged in my HDMI cables and my computer wasn't happy about it like 20 minutes ago. So let me just swap this around. Let's see here. Display capture, let's display the other one. Okay. That's much better. Let's go with this. Alrighty. Hope everyone's ready for the weekend. I know I am. Got my coffee here. And I'm really excited because I have well, let me pull it up. I will show and tell. I have my coming soon Steam page. It is now live. So what I'm going to be doing is updating. Well, I need to put in a gameplay trailer in here. I've just got a few quick screenshots, which obviously I'll be updating and replacing as I finalize and polish. But I'm aiming for a September demo on like itch.io. So I'm going to get this all polished up and updated as I prepare for the demo. So, one of the things I'm going to be doing for that tonight is working on the world map. And for that, I have a new desktop app that I will be using. All right, testing. I was getting an echo. The echo should be gone. All right, so yeah, let's do this. Wonder Draft. All right, and so what I need here is let's open there we go. This is what I started with, and it's going to be basically a paper map. More so a paper map than like an actual illustrated world. But because what I'm going to do is place actual icons over this. Let me go to the grid. Disable that. Okay, and then so what I need to do is identify basically like a starting area, and I think it's going to be somewhere right about here, which actually should suffice. So essentially, starting area here, In fact, let me get this. Let me just grab a quick screen capture. So essentially, start here, and then the player will be able to like branch off into like these areas. Where you get like some maybe some water levels, some temperate zones. They can come into the mountains, which will have frozen levels. So this will be like forest. Some water down here, perhaps. This would be, let's see, say C for cold, I guess. Then possibly actually some swampy marshland, like out over here. Guess I could do M for marsh. Then this area here is going to be more like some ruins. I don't know an abbreviation for that at all. Then down in here, probably this is going to be like a cultist zone, where they're going to be dealing with like arcane anomalies and possibly some abyssal stuff. So I think it's going to be like A for abyss, and arcane, something like that. But this will be like where occultists are. Something like that. And then of course up in here is volcanic, kind of self-explanatory. A little bit Mordor-like. So no strict linear progression. Technically the player could like go in different directions here. But that's the general concept. So let's see if we can make that happen. I think I basically just need some like little town stuff. Let's see. And honestly, I don't like to use just default art. You know, it's available here in Wonderdraft. I think I'm just going to have to go with it though, as long as it doesn't clash too much. Obviously I can't have clashing art, but I'm gonna have to just go with some stuff because I've got to get this game out. And honestly, it's gonna basically all have some sort of a filter over it anyways. So let's see here. You know, a filter helps unify things as well visually. Some ruins. Kind of just trying to see what we have here. Oh, this is a culty. I like that. Like honestly at this point, I'm kind of like ready to just use something like that and move on. So I'm gonna throw that in there. I have this forest. I imagine if there were occultists here, they probably have like, I mean, obviously it's supposed to be a big forest, you know, but they've cleared out somewhere in the middle of it. What else? The forest needs to I need to expand the forest outward, and there's going to be like some more deadwoods up in here. But first I wanted to work on the starting zone right here. So I need buildings, and they can really be ruins of buildings too. I need the style to work decently well. Maybe if I search ruin. Something like this. Like, it's not a super haunty ruin, just more like it's been ravaged by the darkness in this area. Which sounds pretty haunty, but like, they're not ancient ruins. It's just recent townships that have probably been destroyed. So, not sure what the best way to make that look is. That's a really big building. Oops. What about... I wonder how they tagged all these things. Just the word building. What do we get there? Yeah, I might have to bring in some asset packs. I really don't want to. Let's see. But honestly, anything's better than nothing. And what I have right now is virtually nothing. If you look at my other page, my placeholder, oops, my placeholder, it's literally just a blank parchment. So anything's better than that. All right, let's see. What else? Yeah, they have some castle-y stuff here. And over here, while I am looking at it, they do have more of these dead-looking trees. So I could start working some of these in here. And maybe maybe this area doesn't even have as many live trees anyway. I know I've got like alpine forest to the left here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Could even have like a little bit of farmland here that maybe got... Oh, here, actually, I just noticed. Here's a little township. That's kind of exactly what I was looking for. Like a really small one. Yeah, let me get the eraser, remove that thing. Actually, let me take that one out too. Kind of a little starting area. You know, it's a little cartoony. I don't love it. But it is okay. To some degree, it's okay if it's cartoony, as long as it's not childish looking because it's technically a hand-drawn map anyways, even in the game. So yeah, you know, I could just go with that, call it good. Are these things actually white if I place them? Looks like they will be. Yeah, no, it's black. Okay. That works. So we could do like some farmland down here too. Kind of getting like Westfall vibes or something from World of Warcraft. But let me grab that tower thingy. It was kind of a ruined tower. Here's a ruin. Yeah, the art styles do clash a little bit. I don't love that. Tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to place... I might have to come back in and replace the graphics, but let me at least map it out, literally, so I know exactly where I want to place my nodes in the game. That will at least let me place the nodes, and that's kind of the important thing for tonight. What do we get with this thing? Is that the same one? Oh. It's almost better with these icons that don't really have their own color. They just use the base map color. Clearly, I'm trying to make these decisions on the fly, but oops. Let me just leave the little township there for now. Let me throw a field out here on the bottom. Farm? No, it doesn't like that. Field. So some of these will have color, if I can click on it. Let me try to find the ones that are not colorful. Maybe like this. And what else? There are scarecrows. There's some of these thingies. Let me go to the eraser. Get rid of some trees in this area. Go back down. They're kind of going in all sorts of different directions. I also just noticed there are some houses here that are colorless. That's actually much better. Yeah, I mean, like, while not as interesting, I think it'll be easier to have a consistent art style if they're colorless. So that might be a constraint I give myself here. Even these trees have color. Maybe I should find some that don't. We'll see. We will see. Let me find... What else do we have here for, like, farm junk? So now I wonder, can I take this, just add a big old ruin here in front of it? Technically, yes. Let's try that. Let's try that. Any more farm stuff? Where did it go? Right here. I need to add a graveyard in here for sure. Technically, these will have color. But even if I don't love it tonight, I might come back and replace it. But at least I'll know like where these things are. So maybe I'll just do this. Basically consider it like, it's still placeholder-y, but I'll know that I'm putting sort of a farmland down there. Then I'll have a town here. And what over here? There could be like... sort of an alpine lake area. And I would want this to have like a different feel than the other lake and different feel than other marshes too. So I'm not sure what to put there exactly, so maybe nothing at the moment. Let me come up in here. This can be... maybe I just need a path that goes through here. Not even sure what my options are for this tool. Let me see. Probably I'll need to go search for actual asset packs. I kind of keep saying this. Consistency of the art style is really important, and I'm not getting enough options in the same styles here, so it's pretty unfortunate. How much vignette do we want? It was probably about right anyways. Okay, here's the path tool. So let's see what we get here. I don't want to draw like actual dotted maps. I was just thinking more along the lines of like... so here's the width. More like maybe connecting like a village to a farmland or something. Maybe there's a road that goes down through here. It has nothing to do with where the player can actually progress. That is not... what the heck? Trying to figure this out on the fly. Not too sure about this. What's roughness? Oh, how squiggly it is. Hard to say. I'm not sure I'll do this. I mean, if I do, it would be something like this. How do you finish this? How do I accept it? Oh my gosh. Even hitting enter twice deletes it. What does it want from me? Money? All right, you know what? Do you know what? Like, I swear, why? This is a cool tool. I like Wonder Draft. Why is it so hard to figure out how to finish placing a path? If I click, it just places more path. If I enter, it seems to delete. If I click back up here on the options, it just goes away as well. Like, why is it so mysterious? Gotta go to Google. Because Wonder Draft is being goofy. Click and hold the left mouse button to draw your road and right click to finish the line. Okay, so instead of coming out here and left clicking, just right click. Okay. I guess that's not too terrible, but Corey sure did struggle with it. The question is, do I want pads? It might just be too cluttery, to be honest. So if I have a path there, I'm probably going to have a path coming out here, which would branch off to whatever that town is. Then there would probably be one that kind of goes around the lake. To who knows where. Probably down here. But it wouldn't have any specific impact within the game. You know, I imagine there probably was some sort of a hub here at some point. Kind of like the way it curves as you move in a particular direction. It's kind of nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to remove those, but it's helpful for me to at least know that that's the general idea of what's going on. So let's see, what's up in here in the forest? We would have, obviously I'll be placing beacons up in there. So farmland, there's Alpine Lake, Alpine Forest foothills here. starting region, cold stuff up in here. Let me go to symbols. Maybe there's like some sort of a castle I can place up here in the mountains. Sort of a frozen fortress thing. What's a good looking one? Maybe something like that. Let's see, what's the scale here? Yeah, it doesn't have to just completely jump out at the player. They don't have to really find it in the map. They just need to click on the beacons. So, you know, that might suffice. There we go. Put one of those back behind it. Sure, why not? Kind of an old frozen fortress back up in there. Out here, I might actually be adding just a little bit of water here. River tool. You know, I do need rivers. So I imagine this will be like the pathing, where I need to right click to use it. Yeah, that works. So yeah, definitely I need water coming down from the mountains. That's where water comes from, comes down, then let's see, do this. Does this increase the width of the whole thing? Oh, that's just how squiggly it is. Let's see. What is regular level roughness? Like that, and that's fine. And then oops, I keep hitting Control Z, but it's not undoing what I'm currently working on. It's undoing the previous things I did. There we go. Maybe something like that. Kind of feeds into the lake. And then kind of also thinking like it has come into this area. And it's kind of marshy. I just don't know how to make it look good with this tool. So here's a lake tool. Oh, why did it go down there? Okay. Tell you what, let me make the brush smaller. Dang it, wrong spot. Maybe it's a little more like this. It's kind of marshy, so and marsh is flooded plains and fields generally. Swamp is flooded forests and woodlands generally. I didn't really fully understand that difference until recently, sadly. Let's see, what's detail level? Tell you what. Let's see. Oh, what do marshes really look like? I guess we're not too terribly far off. Yeah, it's kind of squiggly. Basically, you've got like rivers running through them, and then they're branching off and flooding the land. Yeah, you definitely have your squiggles in there. All right. So let me take out some of these. Let me go back to the river thing. Let me do the squiggles first. Oops. What is meander distance? Oh, like how far off they go. Straight river. Yeah, let's do a lot of meander distance. And then what is roughness? We could probably do quite a bit of that as well. Okay, yeah, let's do that here. Let's actually bring down the width quite a bit. Feed some of these back into that river there. Just doing a really poor job of playing God here. Okay. Boom, and then I think I'll just overlay some little lakes on top of that. Let's see, maybe smaller though. Kind of like this. Yeah, something like that. Don't know. Good enough, good enough. At least it tells us there's a marsh there. Then, let me save this. Windrose tool. That was kind of cool. Watercolor brush. That's nifty. Okay, so we can make the marsh waters look quite a bit different from the lake water. Let's do that. What is the lake water? It's kind of like it's hard to tell. It's got like so much filter over it, but it's almost more of a teal. I'm almost thinking take the marsh water. I don't know, what will this do if I hit OK? Kind of hard to predict how it's gonna react with the other filter. What does this do? Eraser, nothing. Change color. What if I go with like a brown? Even that could work. And technically it would be fresher coming out of the mountain. Use brush velocity. I don't know, honestly. Let me just give it a little bit of this darker shade and call it good. All right, let's move on. Now let's talk about these trees. Need to decide if I actually want to keep all of these trees. And if so, do I keep them that dense, or do I more like symbolize that there are trees in the area? And I honestly might switch them over to this map colored tree again for consistency. So let me make this bigger. Ah, don't get the mountains. Dang it, put too much stuff in there. You have to come back in here and tweak the mountains. It'd be helpful if I were operating off of different layers. I guess I should have done that. I really should have done this. Let me get rid of all the trees, because I need to fix this. Okay, it won't take that long, to be honest. Let's see if I can figure out this layer management thing. Turn this on. For starters, and then let's unlock this one. Can I name it? Trees. So then if I add trees, if I then go to my layers and lock that. What? Okay, that doesn't work the way I thought. Okay, let me search this up then. Wonder Draft. So can I call this like mountains? And then I think if I click on a mountain, I can assign it a layer. Do I have to do it with each and every one? Oh, I can. Maybe so, but it looks like I can mass select. Okay. All right, so all of those things, and then let me unlock the default one. Put some of these other things on the default layer. Probably not keeping all of those anyway. Yeah, this should be fine, honestly. All right, so then, dang it, stop changing the size. Okay. Then when I add trees, yeah, I could do these small ones. So pretty heavy up here against the mountains. But then they'll thin out a little bit. So let me lower the placement rate. And here. So something like this. Then and what else? Probably an area over here where it probably transitions from also foresty, but then more toward dead trees. So let's see if we can do that. And I think the dead ones were over here in the symbols. So it was actually on this one. Tree. Where'd it go? They are here. I don't know why they're not called. What's it called? Dead tree. They're all... Okay. Dead tree. There we go. So for these, I think I'm supposed to use the ones that look white because they're not going to have any color. Unfortunately, this doesn't have the painting mechanism, so I'll just have to place them. That's fine. And yeah, basically it's just going to transition from dead forest to, well, from alpine forest to dead trees. Then again, I think there's going to be some sort of occultist thing here in the middle of them. And, you know, if I end up getting like a different asset pack, I might swap these out a little bit. I just want to know basically where everything's going to be located. You know, geographically. I think there's a way I could get these and put them into the painter tool so that it'll automatically just spray them out and rotate them around. Oh, you can shuffle them. Yeah, but it's going to shuffle through everything that's in here, so that doesn't work. Symbol rotation. Outline width. Well, we're not really seeing the outline, so I guess that doesn't make a difference. Okay, I think that still gives me an idea of what we're doing here. What else? What else do we have? Tree, and not a lot of options there either. Could even add some live trees in here as well. More of a mixed forest before it becomes completely dead. That would make more sense too, I think. So put in a good mix of these trees up in here. Yeah, Obviously not the best mix of assets, but it works. Plus it's more representative. Okay. I think that will suffice for now. Got a castle up in the hills there. Okay, yeah, I needed the... the occultist thing. Where'd it go? I could put some mines somewhere. That'd be good. Let's see, where do we want some mines? Could add mines up in here. And then could add mines right here. And maybe down here. Maybe so. Okay, now let's work on this town. This is going to be basically a ghost town. I know the other one is more ruined, but it's not going to be too terrible. This one's going to be much more of a ghost town. Like maybe it was ravaged quite a while ago. There's just no life there at all. So let's find something for that. Some stuff. What do we have? We can do... Oh, here's the thing I needed. Real quick. Yeah, alright. That'll be good. But now up in here... Not sure what they've tagged everything here, so let me just scroll through again. I could definitely add like some dead trees here too. Just a couple. Just kind of indicative that's a dead area. Something like that. I'm gonna have to find some more assets or make them. For now, I think I'll just put that there as like a placeholder for like, this is a ghost town city. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. Let me see, is there anything in here like cloud? No. What about scale creator? I will need something up in here for the lake. I've got a mine up in here. Another mine down here. There's sort of an occultist area here. Volcanic up in here. Mountains of volcano. Obviously, I could add some more things in there, but for now, I think that'll work. I think up in here is a little less defined. It's obviously lake water. Marsh over here, lake over here. I think I wanted it to have some magic stuff going on, but I seriously doubt I have anything. But what if I put a castle coming out of the water? And not even being picky about which one. What if there's literally just like one of these coming up out of the water? Like right over here. That might be a little more like, huh, that's odd. Could do that. It would at least give the region like a definition of what might be going on there. Just like down here we've got farmlands. Honestly, I kind of hate these brown things so much. Let's see. What else could we put there? The only problem with these other farm assets, so this might work, is that they're all kind of like on different planes, going in different directions. That might work though. Then there is clearly a township, maybe a little bit ruined. Clearly some sort of farmland down here. Possibly a city here, some kind of weird city coming out of the water. Some mines, an occultist thingy. I think that gives me a starting point. Marshland up in here. Anything I can add to the marshes. Actually, there is. I need another ruined castle. I hate using the same symbol too many times, though. Okay, let me actually just take that one out of there. Castle. For now, at least. Then add it. Where'd it go? Oh, maybe it was ruin. Yeah, right here. Let me add, because this is actually where you're going to find, well, Possibly. This might be where you find the Earth Tower. Spoiler alert. Right back up in here. That gives the marshes a little more identity as well. Think that'll do for now. I still need more of like a... What do I need? I guess I could put some graves down in here. What do we have here? I would prefer they were colorless. Right now they're gray. If I search grave. Oh yeah, I think I already tried that. All right, let me just scroll through. There, I had a little chapel in there. I think it kind of ties it together. What is that? Maybe I should put that in the water. I don't know. It's kind of odd. The origin point seems to be toward the center of this thingy. Here's some bats. Should I put bats on the map? Maybe? Because what I'm trying to do is just use symbolism to communicate there's something in this area. It's not trying to be like a Google Earth, you know, top-down view of the real world by any means. If you see like some dead trees and some bats, you're probably thinking something's wrong with that area. Okay. I think I can maybe take this tall, weird, pointy tower thing. Maybe I could put one up here in these mountains. We have a couple of options here. There's that one. That one. I mean, I don't want these to look like the player towers exactly, but I could put one in here. I needed to go behind. I guess because I put the mountains on a different. Maybe there. I'll just put it there. It could just be a mystery. Who knows what the heck it is? We'll find out. It'll be one of those things, you just find out. Alright, here are some tombs. Again, unfortunately, they're colored in. Whereas everything else is basically transparent and using the map color, the base color, to give it a little more uniformity. So let me see if there's any way I can do that with these. I don't know that there is. That said, graves are pretty easy to make. I could probably even do those myself if I need to. You know, if I wanted to add like a little graveyard here. I don't want them as big as the buildings either. That wouldn't make sense. Let's do that. Flip one around here. Grab one of these. And what else? Maybe like... Again, really just going for symbolism rather than like a true picture. So that might even do the trick. Maybe a broken one. It clearly doesn't go together that well, but I'll find something. I'll find some asset pack I can use. I'll purchase a more uniform pack. But yeah, I mean, that's my rough layout. We got a little bit of stuff going on in all quadrants of this little region. So starting region here, sort of a little township that's probably been recently deserted. There's Alpine Lake to the south, farmland to the southwest, Alpine mountain foothills to the northwest, cold, chilly mountains to the north, swamplands and ruins on the other side of those mountains, some city ruins that are probably more haunted over here by this lake. It was a much larger town than the starting region, and it was probably ravaged quite a bit longer ago than the starting region. More time for darkness to settle in. There's a few mines thrown through the mountains here, a forest that's gone dead with something mysterious going on there, some sort of odd arcane tower here coming out of the mountains all by itself. Some sort of a structure coming up out of the lake here. And a volcanic region, which clearly I'll be adding some stuff to that. Do I have any more rocks here? Doesn't really matter that much, but go to land. What else do we have here? We could add a little something. Why does it keep selecting that? Yeah, I might have messed up by putting all the mountains on different layer. It doesn't look quite as good. Let's see here. Take this, move it to default. Yeah, new user of the tool here. Just give me a chance. Yeah, once I start changing one, I gotta change them all. Let me just grab all this. Oops. Just grab it all and put it on default here. Honestly. It'll make much better visual sense. Okay. I'm just gonna go with it, y'all. I'm gonna go with it. Save. Export. What's the file size anyway? I think it's 1920 by 1080. Cool, let's go to pictures. World map. I'll just call it 001. All right, let's pull that up, make sure it worked. Yeah, I would say it worked enough. And it's not like an eyesore, you know, at first look at it, it's not like nothing just jumps out at me as just terrible. Let's go into GDevelop then and put it in. Open it up. There's a game jam coming up this weekend. All right, let's go to the world map level, wherever that is. Where'd I put that? Right here. Okay. So clearly I need to swap out the underlying world map there. That was literally just an image I put together. So what I'm going to do is delete that off of there. Add a sprite. This will be the new map. Open. Delete the old one. Don't need that. Don't need that crap. And let's see. Yeah, just apply. I don't think I need to do anything with it. The only other thing that would have been kind of nice, well, I thought it'd be kind of nice is to have edges on it, but I guess even if I don't, that's fine. Like if I just delete this, there's some wood under there. So let me set this to 0, 0. And yeah, it fits the whole screen. Some world map text here. And all of this is going to be hidden when the player first starts playing the game. There's going to be darkness over it. So, let me relabel this as the world map. Okay, then I think I need to start placing the beacons on here. Oop, beacon. Let me save this whole thing too in case something goes wrong. I was running into a bug not too long ago where operating in an external layout was causing essentially the engine to crash. All right, so for right now, yeah, there's going to be beacons on here in various locations. Let's see, what scale am I giving these? $40 by $40. $50 by $50. And they should stand out slightly better when it's actually running, but for now, take a few of these. Like, for example, there would be one here on the farm, like in the farm area. You know, probably like, you know, multiple. It'd be like this. So, you know, it's not like smack dab in the middle of the town, but it's going to be nearby, which means it can incorporate township elements in the actual level. You know, there's some out in the forest. Along the mountain ranges. These aren't supposed to look like they're part of the map. These are just waypoints on top of the map. Like literally if someone was putting poker chips on top of a piece of paper, saying where they've been and such. So let's run a quick preview of this. Actually, not all of these will be marked as completed. So 2, 3, okay. Some of these will have animation level 3 or animation number 3. Don't know what level 3 is. Those are the ones that still need to be beaten. So just so we get a nice mix, I'm going to put some of these as not complete. Let's see what that might look like. Now, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, for this external layout, do I have external events for it? External events. Don't think I do. Let me add some. That way I can do things like add lights to the actual scene. So what I'll say here is at the beginning of the scene, and then for each beacon, and I'll say if, let me see if I put any variables on the beacon. I should have. Beacon variable is completed. Then we will add a beacon light. And let me see, did I also create... it doesn't matter, I'll just put it at the... probably at the center. Let me see here. Beacon, edit points, origin, center, okay. Let me delete these other two. Don't need those. Definitely placeholder there. Apply. And yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's go back to the events. So beacon light at position, we'll just say beacon.x, beacon.y. And yes, I have spelled this bacon more times than I would like to admit. Let's have bacon on the mind. And so it'll be there. What is the intensity of the beacon light? 25. All right, let's run a preview. Tell this thing, don't start all previews from scene level, which means I need to start it from, well, let me think. Global level, golly, I can't even talk. Global level -1. Let's use that for the map, for the world map. So if global variable level is -1, we're going to create objects from the external layout world map. Then in the events down here, I need to make sure I include those external events. World map, right there, boom, got it. And yeah, let's run it. See what kind of bugs we run into here. That's always the question, is what kind of bugs am I going to get, not how perfect is this going to be. Okay. It does have lights in there, but I've got something going on here. So for the sake of demonstration, this is effectively what's going to be happening. This isn't all set up to work on this external layout yet. This is effectively what's going to be happening, though. On the world map, there's going to be this fog of war, which is basically going to be pitch black farther out. Then there's going to be, and this is going to be for each of these small beacons, not for the tower I just placed. Each small beacon is going to emit actual radius of light and push back the fog of war, so to speak, the darkness. So you'll see a little further out in sort of gray like you have here, and then beyond that's going to be pitch black. So the player's kind of unlocking the map as they go. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks generally decent. So you'll have like some darker but available areas like this. What's really interesting is I thought I changed the animation of some of these beacons, but they're all showing up as the same animation right now. Yeah, you'll kind of work your way through, push back the fog, the darkness a little bit more, and the rest of the map will be unexplored until you get there. I just need to make that happen. Interesting that the towers were letting me, oops, it was letting me place towers, but it wasn't letting me use the deconstruct button. So there's a bug. I just said let's figure out what the bugs are. There's one. So again, if I put one of these towers out here, it'll give me some light. Deconstruct. Oh, now it's working. Maybe I started it from the wrong tab. All right, so what I need to do is, hold on, what is going on here? Why does it look like that one? Looks like all of the beacon lights went to that one. Let me go to the debugger here. Let's investigate that. Beacon light. Oh, no, there is actually just one. What the heck? I said repeat for each instance of beacon. If the variable is completed as true, are the rest of them false? Could be. And it also changed the animations. So let's try... Oops. There we go. Because the idea... See, actually, I can keep that one there. The idea is that these are the non-completed ones. And yeah, something like this. So I think the next thing will be, again, kind of what I'm going for tonight is to get this all essentially figured out. I'll go through like tomorrow and actually code in, you know, if this one is unlocked, if this one is completed, unlock these other two, that kind of thing. But what I want to do tonight is actually, since it's day one of having my coming soon Steam page ready to go, I want to get this artwork up on there. Obviously not revealing the whole thing because it's technically spoiler. So anyone looking at it now is in on the secrets. But yeah, I want to get it, like all the lights put in place and everything right now. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And I think that might be a decent way to start it out right here. If these are all the way that they are, I need to incorporate the... Oh, actually, hold on. I need to click on each of these. Actually, I just thought of something even better. Scratch what I just did. Let me go here. Let me set them all to... I'll do this logically. Select all assets on the scene. Set the animation to 0. Better yet, set them to 1. Then when I come here... Not here. Let me swap these around too. So this will be animation, I'll just call it unlocked, and then I'll call this one completed. The variables are, yeah, ID, region, is completed, is unlocked. Is unlocked should be a Boolean. Apply. Then repeat for each instance of beacon. Let me drag this one down here. If the variable is completed is true, we're going to set the animation to completed. But they should all by default be not completed. But, you know, just to be nice and safe, we could also do that check. If the variable is completed as false, we will set that. It will not get a light, and we will set the animation to unlocked. It's simply unlocked, but not completed. So if I go back to my world map, for the sake of, you know, just this kind of starter, let me set the variables on the ones that I want to be completed. So we'll take these township ones, we'll call these complete. Is completed true. I feel like it's going to crash. Let me save it. This one will be true. all of these right up in here. This kind of thing. So, and again, the world progression is not linear. It's just nearby beacons will be unlocked as you progress outward. So, it's by proximity. What happens now if I run this? I'm nervous. What did I break? Okay, let me add some actual light here. Yeah, they're getting the light. It's really strong. It's almost like they don't actually need a light being attached to them. What happens if I put the light on the lighting layer instead? Just curious, because it looks so bad right now. Just like blowing it out. Maybe like slightly better. It's still only going to that one as well. That's kind of odd. So... Y, debug, refresh. All right, so 385, 602, 409, 892. It's putting them all over. On the lighting layer. It just seems like that's the only one that really has one. I'll need to look into that. Oops. I will need to look into that. I'm also realizing... Oh, yeah. So definitely need to tell the events, don't give me this UI for this scene. I need to change the UI for the scene, because that's definitely cutting off a lot of the map. So that's something to do as well. Okay. Here's the Fog of War events. I think what I'll do is, let me check the global variable for the level here, because I want it to behave differently. If it's the world map, it's going to be darker. So level right there, if that is equal to -1, that's the world map. And here I'll just simply say if it's greater than -1, then it'll be normal. So for for the world map, I want it to be let's see, scouted vision, field of vision. So 255 is going to be like pretty much everything. Field of vision. Let's test that. Run the preview. Basically, I want the stuff that's unexplored to be super dark. The stuff that's visible to be slightly more visible. Okay, there we go. So it's pitch black. If we drop a lantern out there, you get that much light, and then I want the surrounding light to be... Let me actually adjust this. Maybe that's too much. 125. Refresh. Play around with this for a second. Let me run the preview again. Yeah, so it'll be this dim. So if you have like the tower there, then the outer perimeter is going to be like this. Obviously, it's way too huge for the map, so need to change that as well. But you get just a little bit of a preview past it. What about 175? Let me think. How can I do this? I think I could do it right here. If I literally take this, copy paste it, and then change it from towers to beacons, or beacon, then repeat for each one. Add a disk to the field with a center at the beacon. This is what we need here, people. This is where we'll make it happen. And the radius, towers build radius. Maximum. Okay, maximum's fine. Let's hard code this for the moment. Let's just say with a radius of 125. Hopefully that's not too huge. Let's see how that looks. If I can get that working, then we'll add another disk pushing back a little bit of the darkness. Please work. Yay! All right. So that's mostly correct. That is how it's going to function, but I only want it to illuminate the ones that are completed. So let's make an adjustment. Repeat for each instance of beacon. We will say here What will we say? Technically, we'll just check beacon variable completed. If is completed is false. No, if is completed is true. Those are the ones that need to receive the light. Let's check that now. It's getting good. It's getting good here. There we go. All right. Perfect. So from there, obviously it's like a little bit too dark. We want to add just a little more periphery so that you can actually see the unlocked towers. And technically I need to hide any towers, or I keep calling them towers, the beacons, any beacons that are on the map but not even unlocked need to actually be hidden. I haven't done that yet either. So, but first let's add painter field of vision. I think I need to add scouted vision. Scouted vision. I think this is what I need. And it's going to be a slightly larger radius. Let's say 175. I have no idea if this is actually going to do what I want. But we're going to find out. Yes, it did add more radius. There we go. I just need, I think, maybe increase it a little bit. Because it kind of works. I mean, you can start to see some unlocked beacons, but like, I don't know. Or maybe even each unlocked beacon should have a really small radius of its own. It's kind of hard to say. But that might be the safest thing, so that you could at least actually see them. Because there's no guarantee you'll be able to see the ones that are unlocked here. So let's do this. And then I'll say if is completed is false, then it's not going to get the bright light, but it will get the dim light, and it's going to be a smaller radius too. And we'll call that like it can be pretty small, honestly. Like let's try 80. Just enough to guarantee that the player can see it, and not just hope that there's a nearby completed beacon that's bright enough. Yeah, much more like that. Maybe even smaller for those. Obviously, this is where playtesting will come in most useful. Let's try a radius of 60. That'll basically just be the beacon itself. And I think this is about it. I think I'm getting this to where I want it for the night. I need to figure out why the light isn't going where I want it. Or maybe it is, but it just doesn't look quite right. But yeah, here we go. So in theory, there will be a lot of other beacons spread throughout the map. They're just not unlocked. So far, these are unlocked because by proximity a nearby beacon was completed. They won those levels. So now they can go to any of these unlocked ones and work on those. Yeah. And I need to get rid of this UI here as well. So let me see here. Level setup. way too many tabs open up here. Surely I can't be the only one. There we go. So there's the UI. Close that. All right, we need level setup. And again, I think here's another check. So if the variable is not on the world map, or better yet, if it's greater than -1, because I might put some other menus and stuff in the negative numbers. So if the variable is greater than -1, yeah, we don't need all this. It's almost like all this stuff should be under that condition, honestly. Because none of my menus are going to have this junk, so why even bother checking? So let's just do a little optimization here while we're here. Drag those over. Boom. All right, that keeps that nice and clean. Not even sure why that's kind of standalone there. Let's pull that into its own thing here. What next? We could do... Well, I need to tell it to hide, or basically not hide. I need to tell it to not create all of that UI stuff. So where am I doing that? External events. Oh, right here. Okay. Okay. I'll just do another if it's greater than. That should get rid of it. So let's save and run it again. Shouldn't get any of that unnecessary UI. I'll need to add some UI stuff at some point, but I haven't designed it for the world map yet. There we go, nice and clean. You can see our farm area. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. And for some reason it even looks more different now. What changed? There's almost like a pink thing over here. What is going on? I mean, it looks okay, it just looks different. At some point I'll come in here and do more optimization, like telling it don't use all these other things if it's not even a level, or if it's level, exclude events from the world map and menus and things like that. But we'll get to the optimization after we have the functionality in place. It's the general flow of things. So what else? What else? Almost done here for the night. I must have changed, it might have been this one, where I changed the ambient color of the lighting layer at some point. Let me grab that back again. Oh, in fact, oh yeah, these were the things that changed, both of these. So let me copy those. I'm going to create a new event here with a sub event. I'm going to add those in here. Then if the variable is equal to -1, let's do those again. So I lost my beacon lights, and then also I still want the ambient color of the lighting to be not pure white. I want it to be kind of map colored, to be honest. Let's take a look at this once again. At least it wasn't crazy. Something did change. There we go. Yeah, now it looks like they're actually emitting some light. I just don't know why this one looks so different. Like, what is going on with that? So that will be, where is that coordinate? That is the one just to the left of the town, right here. That is 385,602. Let's find that one in the debugger. No, it's the very first one. Is it? Oh. Huh. Well, it does contain two different beacon lights right on top of it. The other ones all seem to have a single one, but it has one that's on the base layer as well as the lighting layer. The one on the base layer right here, that's the one making it look so funny. Why does it have an extra one there? Did I add it directly onto the world map by chance? Doesn't look like it. No. Okay. Let's take a look then at the events here. Repeat for each instance of beacon. If the variable beacon is true, create object. Honestly, I have no idea how it's getting a light object on the base layer. What if I delete that one? Then what happens? I get the feeling some other beacon will receive two. That one down there did. And it shouldn't have a light at all. That's an odd bug. Okay, let's simplify. Let's get rid of that event. Let me disable it. I mean, obviously then we won't have any lights, but let's see. Oh, right here. That must be the one. Okay, get rid of that. Never mind. That was the problem. I just saw that too. Clearly I'm out of it. Okay. We should be good now. Should be good. Yeah, okay. I would still like to know what that is. Sort of a pink thing. I'm going to also, for tonight, take this, let's put it on the UI layer. Actually, I want to put it directly on the world map because I need this for, well, for a screenshot. I also wanted to add a few more of these beacons. Something like this. Basically just so that there are a lot of levels, so people can see that. Alright, let's see how that looks. Because I'm aiming for ballpark 100 levels for release. Ooh, what the heck? How does it have that effect on it? But let's see. How do we feel about this? Maybe. I think I need to mark one or two of these as more completed over here. And also, why the heck does that text have that effect on it? Let me go back here. Let's see. I never put that effect on that text. That is so weird. I absolutely did not add the glitch effect. What the heck, G-Develop? Go home, you're drunk. Okay. If anything, it should have like a glow effect. But let's go back to the map here. Let me create another one of these. I'm going to mark it as completed. And let's see, maybe this one as completed. Oh, it already is. That way we get a nice little center of light. And let's see how that looks. I think that's much better for kind of a starting demo screenshot. Yeah, let me add, I want one more non-completed one down here on the farmland. I'm happy with this one. You can see there's some sort of a castle thingy up there. And the world map part, the title, pretty, it's okay.
Oh shit, this record broken.
I could even do something else here since I'm basically trying to build out some Steam screenshots. I could do text world map. I don't know, I'll just say extra text. What I could do is say push back the darkness. Complete levels. Push back the darkness. Something like that. So yeah, let me add one more of these things. Not completed. Just right down here. And preview again. Oh, I absolutely did not put that on the correct layer. One more time. I might make this text a little bit smaller, but I think that's generally fine. I think it gets the point across, so that's going to be 72. Let's try 64. Let's try 60. Okay, I have an idea. I don't like the way that's looking. Complete levels. Apply, and then let me duplicate that. Push back the darkness. Apply. And then maybe even right here I could do italics. Wait, is it all italicized? I guess it is. I can't do double italics. Why is the... I just noticed the base color is black, but I guess I'm coloring it here, so that's why. Okay. Why does it look so different? Why are you different? Maybe I'm crazy. It just looks different to my eyes. What the heck? Well, let me see what it looks like when I run it. Maybe I am crazy. hopefully folks have some good plans for the weekend. I know I'm looking forward to getting away from work, and I'm looking forward to putting that on the UI layer so we can actually see it. Grab that, put it on the UI layer, and run that again. Almost done here. Almost have a screenshotable world map. I think I'm gonna go with it. At some point, you gotta ship. I'm gonna ship that for tonight. So let me grab just a big old screenshot, and I'll deal with that later. So tomorrow, I'm gonna work on actually coding logically the I'll have to decide how I want to do it. I could actually code in a proxy. I could actually code these by proximity to just literally say if it's within 100 pixels and if the beacon is unlocked, or if it's within 100 pixels and it's not yet completed, then unlock it. But what I'll probably do is just hard code, like if you've completed beacon number 1, then beacons 2 through 7 are available, something like that. So that's the next step. Shouldn't be too terribly bad. For the demo in September, I'll probably have like 10 of these available, something like that. But I'm going to try to have a large variety. So I have some cold levels, some more urban levels, more foresty levels, things like that. So close that. And yeah, pretty good progress. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to call it a night. So anyone who's been following along, thanks so much for hanging out. The coming soon page is live. You can wishlist anytime, and whatever it is you're working on, I certainly hope that you have fewer bugs than I do. So take care. Catch you next time.